In fact, it's extremely important at the bank that the world has decided to recognize Biological Diversity Day. I think too often when we talk about protecting the environment, we think of reducing CO2 emissions, and biological diversity is left out of the question. But in fact, species are going extinct at a rate today that is more than 500 times the normal rate or the past rate. And more than half the world's rivers are depleted. More than half the world's fish stocks are overexploited. And we also have forests which are shrinking in size around the world. I think that the bank is increasingly involved in biodiversity protection because we think this is a critical issue, and so we're happy to celebrate Biological Diversity Day. Well, right now the international community doesn't have a methodology for valuing natural capital that is as rigorous as we have for measuring other types of wealth. And so we will continue to undervalue it. I think one of the most important things which needs to be done and which the bank can help with is that we need to figure out how to value ecosystems and the services that they provide. We also have to figure out methodologies that are effective for preserving biodiversity. And we have a number of programs that are looking at that. And finally, we probably are going to have to, as an international community, work together to come up with financing for preserving biodiversity. The bank has managed over $6.5 billion worth of projects in biodiversity preservation in the last 20 years. We're by far the largest funder of biodiversity programs in the world. We also have a very dynamic program on creating knowledge around biodiversity and natural capital. As I explained earlier, we think one of the most important things is to develop the methodologies for valuing ecosystems and their services. We have a program called WAVES, which is trying to work with a number of developed and developing countries to add green accounting into their national accounts. We also are leaders in a number of partnerships which try to protect biological diversity. One partnership is the Critical Ecosystems Partnership Fund, where we are working with NGOs that are active on the ground protecting biodiversity. Another example is the Save Our Species program, which is trying to work with private companies to get them more active in protecting biological diversity. And we will continue to try to leverage financing on other programs and partnerships because we are convinced that this is an extremely important issue for the next 10 years.